This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
See the red lettering? That's me. I'm Alex. The white lettering is the name of the show. That's the Ramblers. Well, I'm not Alex Ramble. That's not my name. Alex Ramble. So, thought I'd just let you know that in case you weren't aware of that. Okay. Anyway, it's what is it? It's Tuesday, and my eye is been dripping all day. I have an eye appointment tomorrow with my ophthalmologist. An optometrist does lenses or something. Ophthalmologist is specialty for the eyes. And I'm going to go to him tomorrow, and I'm going to tell him it's been dripping like crazy, and he's going to say, you got to have that operation, you know, the one where they do a little thing there. And I'm going to tell him, well, I'm seeing the guy next week for it, and then I'll probably be off the air here for at least 3 days. And then I'll look like I've been punched in the face for about a week. So, anyway, I got to do that. But he'll give me the lecture tomorrow. But I wish there was something he could give me to keep me from my eyes from tearing. Because they're tearing because of, I don't think because of this necessarily. They're just tearing because of something in the air. There's no allergies right now, but there's something in the air. Anyway, every Tuesday we have a task we have to do, and that's called going over and talking to America's biggest asshole. Well, I mean, do you think I should be introducing you that way, Phil, or does that seem to bother you?
What way? I turned down the audio.
Oh, well, then you didn't hear me say once a week we talk to America's biggest asshole.
Well, you know, I notice that you're always crying when I come on. You know, you tear up, and you know, it gives me pleasure to see you so happy.
It does give you pleasure. I see.
Yeah. So, you know, I figure, you know, hey, every time I get on, you're tearing. So
really, yeah, I'm tearing. Yeah.
I thought you were America's biggest asshole.
Maybe I used to be. I don't know.
Oh, so I'm stepping into those shoes now.
Yeah. Didn't I call myself America's something once? I can't remember what it was. But
it wasn't America's sweetheart.
No, it wasn't America's sweetheart. You know, but.
Hey, congratulations! I'm glad you were able to announce. And
well, I haven't announced it on this show yet. So so I probably
on your Facebook page.
Probably should announce it. You know.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
I'm ashamed to.
How could you be ashamed? You're up against national figures. Sally Jesse Raphael.
Jeffy Raphael.
Whatever she is.
Well, she's an old friend of mine, you know.
Yes,
we
but
used
she's
to work
a
together.
Figure, and she had a national television show. And Larry Elder is on Fox News. And he had, you know, he's
not on Fox News. He doesn't have a show on Fox News.
No, not a show, but he's a guest, regular
but
guest.
He also has a show down in L.A. He's syndicated on the Salem networks. He's the one that I think I can beat.
You don't think you can beat Sally Jesse Raphael?
Well, wait a minute. I think I can beat Larry Elder for one basic reason. See, the problem I have, as opposed to some of these people, like the guys at WMMR in Philadelphia, they got a radio station they're on, and Larry Elder's on a network. Sally is pretty much at home collecting Social Security. Okay. But the thing with Larry Elder is he's got a whole network, and he can tell people, vote for me, although the vote only counts for 1/25 of the voting. Okay.
Yeah.
But
you mean a quarter of the vote?
But Larry Elder just decided, I think it was yesterday, that he's running for governor of California.
Oh yeah.
Which means what?
He's a Republican,
No,
and it means
no.
the vote.
No. It means it means something where my chances are concerned.
Fill me in. I don't get it.
He can't be on the air
Oh,
because he's running for political office. And anybody that would carry him would have to give all the other candidates equal time.
so when does he announce, or has he already?
He already announced.
Oh, so he's what?
So he isn't going to have a radio program until he's through running for governor.
Right. So therefore, he can't shill for his.
That's correct.
Position.
Yeah. So he's out of the
And the
play.
guys in Philadelphia, are they national? I never heard of them.
I never heard of him either, and I don't know anybody else that's heard of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they've been on for 20 years in Philadelphia, so I imagine the people down there are quite aware.
What size market is that? Because you were in the number 1 market, the number 5 market.
I think it's maybe it's in San Francisco's the number 4 market.
Now, but in
No, it was
1980,
was no, it
It
was
was
back when I was there too. I think maybe 5th. I think it's wait a minute. It's
Chicago,
Yeah, it's I've worked Chicago too.
yeah.
So I worked New York, number 1 market.
Mhm.
Chicago, the number 3 market, and the number 4 market, which was San Francisco.
Wow.
I never worked L.A.
Yeah. To LA, or
No, I never worked L.A.
I know, but is that number 2?
That's number 2. Yeah. So anyway, that's the story of our. But anyway, so in case people don't even know what we're talking about, because we just launched into this thing, I've been nominated for being an inductee to the Radio Hall of Fame, and there are 4 of us. There are 4 of us that are up for grabs there. See, here's the thing that bothers me about it. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't feel good, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say, like everybody else, it's just simply an honor to be nominated. Okay, all right, I'll do all that first. But secondly, I just think that holding a contest to figure who's going to be inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame is a little tacky.
So you think they should do it the way the sports people do?
The Radio Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says our inductees this year are going to be, and then they announce who the inductees are.
Right.
There's no contest. There's no write-in and whoever gets the most votes from this and that and whatever. Yeah, I'm sure there's a nominating committee, and I'm sure whoever gets the most votes there gets nominated, and that's about what's going to happen here too. But I just don't like it being a contest. I think that all art should not be made into a contest. I don't like the Oscars either. I don't like the Emmys. I don't like any of those things where they have a contest.
But radio in its heyday had contests. You win a WMCA Good Guy sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And you couldn't buy them. You had to win it. Although Terrell Matheny gave
just in case you don't know, I mean, when you become inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, they give you a T-shirt. So
well, I think it's great. I think it's great that you're being recognized, and at least it's not posthumously.
Well, not yet. See, I can be nominated up to 5 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Before I can't be nominated anymore. So I mean, it could well be that I win it posthumously. And I don't. And believe me, if I die, I don't want it posthumous. None of the people here, by the way, are posthumous. So
they're all.
And I don't know that they don't name some people without the contest that are posthumous, but I don't know that. So,
well, congratulations. I think it's well deserved, and even
last year's winner in my category was what's his name, Beck, Glenn Beck.
Beck.
Yeah.
And now, was he a judge or
no? He was in my category.
Oh,
the person who got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay, I thought the category there was like 4 or 5
Yeah,
categories
there
that.
are about 5 or 6 categories, 6 categories, 4 of which are voted on by a group of 100 broadcast professionals,
You
and
know
then
any of them?
there are two
Yeah.
where which is my category, and I can't remember what the other category is. In fact, I could probably go look it up right here. Excuse me for my arrow going across the screen there. Let me see here. Where is it? Oh, well, it's not. I'm not even here. I don't have it. Okay. Well, I don't know what the other category is, but my
Broad
category is spoken word.
years. What was it, over 20 years? There
Oh,
was a.
the other ones are like active.
Oh,
Okay, active for 20 years, active for 10 years. I don't get that particularly, but it makes no sense to me. But who am I to argue that they nominated me, and thank you very much, and I'm glad.
just the recognition of being nominated, I think is fantastic. I'd love to see you win. And
Well, I would love to win too, because no matter how many times you say it's just a pleasure to be nominated. No, it is. And the big pleasure is winning.
yeah,
Okay, I mean, let's be honest about it. None of these guys are going, "Hey, I'm just happy I was nominated. See you later." Okay, no, they're all chomping at the bit. You know.
yeah.
But
And
I feel I'm in about 50% good company. I like Sally Jesse. I've known
I
her.
like Larry Elder. I listen. I enjoy
He's
him.
an asshole. Even
About me.
even black people don't like Larry Elder. Okay, and if you're going to talk about contributing to the business, to the broadcast uh, art, as it were, I don't think he's contributed diddly fuck.
Is he a civil rights attorney?
Don't think so. No.
Then what? Then he was the one that's a teacher. There's two black Republicans.
I can't remember what he does. He keeps running for stuff all the time.
Well, there's two black Republicans that.
And here, by the way, I think he should be eliminated from the mix, and I'll tell you why. Because I think he just committed what I consider the biggest sin you can do. All
What's
right,
that?
that's be on the air, be an on the air radio personality, and then decide to run for public office while you still have a program. I mean, he has to go off during the race,
Yeah.
but I think it's wrong. I think it's misusing.
I don't think so. Bruce Hershenson, who was an L.A. Personality, I think he was television, but he ran against Barbara Boxer, and I supported Bruce Hershenson.
Of course.
He, of course, but he was a personality, and I thought that he would have brought class and really good leadership to.
I still feel that people always say to me, "Why don't you run for public office?" Blah 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 blah, and I go, "No, I don't believe in trading in the what can I call it, the popularity that I have on radio for political office. I just don't believe that that's a correct way of using that power which you've been handed."
There's going to be a lot of positions open in Texas because all of the Texas Democrats are now considered felons because they are. I guess the governor of Texas says that because they didn't show up for the vote, that he's going to have them arrested.
Well, they had to do the only thing they felt they could do. It was
Yeah,
the only
buy
kind
a
of
case of beer and go to Washington.
Well, they
D.C.
make a big deal out of a case of beer on the plane. Why not? I mean, what's the big deal about a case of beer?
I heard the charter was $100,000. You think they could have provided beer?
Well, could have been, but I mean, the Republicans make a big deal out of the most smallest minutiae,
And the Democrats don't.
No, they don't. Anyway, what I was going to say about this whole nomination thing is the voting goes on the 28th of July and goes for about a week or something. It's not, I cannot, I was asked a friend of mine who is on one of the nominating committee, what happens with that vote? Because there are 25 votes. that make it up. It's only representative of one vote. It's only 1/25th.
Oh.
Okay,
So,
and the other 24 are members of the nominating committee.
yeah.
Okay, and I said to him, I said, well, then I've got a shot. I don't if I'm not on the air. He says, yeah, but a lot of times they go along with whatever the public says. So we'll have to see. But I just hope everybody will
Yeah. Hey, you're crying again.
I know. I'm welled up with enthusiasm on this thing. I'll be glad when it's over.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if but what I was going to say about Sally, I've told this story a couple of times in the last couple of days. She's one of my favorite people I ever worked with. She was sassy, she was snarky, and I was working with her at WMCA.
Really?
And and she used to. This was my second go around at WMCA, and she had a show, and it went on right after mine.
Was it talk? Because I know Timothy wanted half talk.
No. This was this was later on. This was many years later after they did that, when they went all talk. Okay. And so anyway, it was. She went and did the show after me, and she would come into the studio and kind of put her stuff down and everything. It was a commercial break, and I said, "How you doing, Sally?" And she said, "Not. Yeah, it's one of those days." I said, "What do you mean it's one of those days?" She said to me, "Listen, I know who I fucked to get into this business. Who do I fuck to get out of it?"
Now,
and after that, I loved her, absolutely adored her, because she, I mean, that was Sally. It was terrific.
yeah. Now she had a TV show, but I don't remember. I think it was in the '80s. I don't remember exactly.
'80s, '90s. She was around for quite a while. She had a very successful TV show.
Yeah. What was her shtick?
Well, I mean, her shtick in the beginning was trying to do a real, tits up discussion show about politics and things like that. And eventually it wound up about your husband's cheating on you, eh? One of those things where every day it was and she didn't like it when it went that way, but it was very popular, and so she did it,
Yeah, it was the Maury Povich kind of.
You had Povich, and you had what's his name?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But all those people doing those little deals. I like Povich. Povich is a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a terrific guy.
So if you beat Sally Jesse Raphael, since she has a tough name, it's 3 first names. If you beat her, are you going to say, "Hey, I beat you"?
No, I actually. Can I say this? To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm hoping she wins.
Yeah.
She's older than I am, so she doesn't have many more years to relish in this honor. Okay, I still am old enough where maybe next year they can nominate me again. So if I were to vote for somebody, I would vote for her.
Oh, that's very generous.
And she's a nice lady, and I think she deserves it.
Yeah. But you know what? I think you deserve it. I think that you've been, with all the things that you've done in radio, and the early pioneer of TV on the internet and things like that. I really think that it's your time.
Well, all the things I've done in radio, like getting laid, getting free stuff. Let me see, what else did I do in radio?
I was going to ask you about that. When you were on radio, you always had something to do. There was, like after the show.
I would always have something the next morning to talk about.
Yeah.
And now I don't have anything to talk about.
Not only that, I mean, you always got invited somewhere, or you went and you did something that was interesting. I mean, you schlepped me with you a couple of times, and I really enjoyed those days.
Yeah, well, they were great days. It was a great day of privilege as well. It was good. But we're talking to our lawyers again. They're getting ready to do this whole thing again. And
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to go, but my opinion is, do you have a couch?
Yeah, I've used yours.
Yeah, I may have to use yours. I don't know. This whole
It,
thing
it,
is.
it's a pullout.
No, this whole thing is getting to me. It's really getting to me.
They try to wear you down.
Well,
I think with
and
all
then my lawyer yesterday is saying, well, like, what do you want and what are you willing to take? He said,
you,
it'd be nice if we could just negotiate this thing out and get rid of it. And I said
that's what
we want a rent stabilized apartment in our name, and that's it, and forgiveness of all past
rent.
rent and stuff, which is
And had you said anything about?
And he said to me, he said, well, you guys have saved the money every month that you would have paid in rent, haven't you? And
Sure.
we went, no, we haven't. And then
No,
I wrote him
not
after it was
me.
all over and say, you probably wonder why I don't have any money. It's because we paid you $100,000 in the last 8 years.
That's
All
right.
that money that would have been rent
It-
went
it's
to
been
went to
hundred-
went to your bill.
Last time you said something, it was like approaching 50.
No, it's up to almost 100,000 now.
Wow.
It will go over 100,000 before we're through with this thing. If we're through with this thing,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and all of a sudden, it's not as you've got it made kind of thing anymore. In the beginning, it was like, it's illusory tenancy, blah 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 blah, and I think you got a really good case against them, and now it's kind of like, well, he could claim that he didn't know what he was doing because his rental agent, blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking,
Right.
hey, all I want you to do is go in there and kill them,
Yeah.
okay?
Ignorance is not an excuse.
It shouldn't be an excuse.
You broke the law. They didn't break the law.
Well, he's afraid that this judge is kind of prejudiced towards our landlord because he was a famous basketball player. Not so famous, folks, that any of you have ever heard of him.
Well, he was a venture, huh?
Huh? They did, I think, 1 year at the Knicks and about 2 years at the Jets, and that was it.
Wow. Are the Jets basketball or football?
I know Jets, not Jets, something else. The Nets, New York Nets.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he
Yeah,
played.
I at least knew when I was a kid that Joe Namath was a Jet.
I'm trying to go. Yeah, he's famous, but Alex Bennett. If you ask people in New York about Alex Bennett, some people do know who he is.
And they better vote for him.
You know.
But they attorneys. I hate attorneys.
I just hate the whole process. I hate the whole process. It's eaten up about $100,000 of Marjorie's money. Marjorie's been putting it out.
Yeah.
And it just irritates the hell out of me. And we would like to get that back, but he says, you're probably not going to. Just get this thing settled, get your lease, get the and he said, we could fight this thing all the way, and then there'll be somebody who loses, and whoever loses is going to appeal it, and then the appeal is going to cost a fortune.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going, the whole legal system is not on the side of the small guy who gets sued. You got to remember, this whole situation was a situation we never asked for. We never did anything to create it. It just happened.
I always said in America, the justice system is how much justice can you afford?
Well,
The more-
no question in my mind about that. But I mean, what I find just wrong about the whole thing is that we have to spend. We did nothing, right? We did absolutely nothing, and we were dragged kicking and screaming into this problem. We didn't do anything wrong. If we did anything wrong, is that we trusted the guy that we leased the place from.
Well, he misrepresented, himself to be the landlord.
Yeah, he certainly did. But but he's a basketball player, and the judges probably loves that part of it.
I don't know. I gotta believe that judges are a little.
Listen,
less-
I'm looking for homes to buy up in Sullivan County.
Yeah.
I'm just because I just don't know how this thing's going to play out. I'll be honest with you.
I grew up north of in the northern Westchester, just south of the Putnam County line. It's a beautiful area, and I don't think it's that expensive.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, all houses outside of the city now are
Yeah.
expensive because everybody wants one now. Everybody wants to work from home, and if they're going to work from home, they don't want to work from New York City.
Oh, you blame them? I
No,
mean,
not at all. So if you go to any of these places looking for a house, the real estate costs have just gone sky high.
yeah. Well, I heard that there's that the price of rentals in New York City has gone down. I know it has in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because those are two of the highest places in the nation, including I think Honolulu.
Yeah.
It's a crazy market. I mean, they're building a house. A friend of mine's building 8 places near my store, and I verbally committed for one of them. He doesn't even have a price yet, so he says because it has to get set by the Department of Real Estate before he can. The bank will say what the value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I've been renting for a few years now, probably 5-6 years. I'm ready to own another place.
Well, the cost of it is just extraordinary.
Well, you have a VA loan that you could get at 100% at a fairly low interest rate because you're a veteran and you never used your VA loan.
You're right about that. You're right
So-
about that. But Marjorie also has this house, this condo
But
here.
A VA loan
which
doesn't
she-
count.
Which
against
she,
it.
no, which she could get rid of, and we could use that as a down payment or pay
Yeah,
for
but
most
she's
of
getting
it.
income.
Huh?
She's getting income. She gets income from that. You don't
Yeah,
need.
but I mean, how long are you going to get income from it? I mean, she gets maybe a couple $1,000s a month. But what if we could sell it tomorrow for $400,000 and take that money and then apply it to buying a home somewhere else?
Then you don't get the $2,000 a month income.
Yes, but
I would-
weigh one against the other.
Yeah,
I mean,
talk to your
how
business
long
man.
are we going to live where we need that income coming in?
Yeah, talk to the-
Plus, it's a condo, so she pays $1,000 a month just in condo fees and stuff like that. So so
she's
maybe
not netting. She's not netting the $2,000.
no, she's not knitting the $2,000. No.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Then that makes sense. But talk to your business manager, and he'll be
Well,
able
all
to.
I know is that
Yeah.
I may need it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
I don't want to go anywhere because I just don't want to move.
I don't blame you. I look around my little office here, and I'm thinking, how am I going to move all this crap, and where did I accumulate all of this stuff? I mean, I got recorders, I got cameras, I got bullets.
You're like life is like this giant snowball. That
Yeah.
as it's rolling downhill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so when finally I remember when I went from my job in Sacramento, California to my job in Houston, Texas, everything I owned was in the back seat and the trunk of my car.
When I got divorced in 2003, I took a pillow, a sheet, and some underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it morphed into all of this stuff.
How times have changed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess.
Oh, I'm on black.
You're on black. Well, I don't. Mine isn't black. Mine.
No, the hardest one you have is blue.
Yeah.
I actually had to buy this as another thing. But
I find the blue is too hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
after a while it gets soft. It's not as hard as you exercise.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So what time is it here?
It's time for us to go.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I am glad that we got together. By the way, I have to go to Denver on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
So your next show is the 20th, right?
What? When do you have to go?
The 19th, Monday the 19th,
Yeah.
and I'll be there through Wednesday, the
Yeah,
21st.
Yeah, well, you could call me and we could do this from there, you know.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll bring my iPad.
Yeah,
And
something like that. Anyway, we'll talk to you later.
we'll test it though from on Monday.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I think that
All
would
right.
be very good and appropriate. Okay,
Every-
ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, there he goes. That's our good friend Phil Meyer.
Phil Meyer.
Goodbye, Phil. Anyway, let me see here. Boy, that went fast. Oh, I see. I didn't do the transition right. I see. I've got there we go. See, and then I would go like that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, welcome back, and now I guess it's time to go to the people on the panel, which there aren't any. I noticed that Charlie isn't here. I think he may be doing his refereeing or umpiring or whatever he does with softball. But anyway, let me admit whoever wants to get on here tonight. We have Brian Neary, and we have let's see here, we have Alan, and we have Trucker Steve. Hi, hello, Trucker Steve. How you feeling today?
Good.
Huh? Feeling better? Yeah. Do you find that actually you're feeling much better than you were feeling because you were feeling terrible?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel fine.
Yeah. Good. And
Did Charlie have the night off? Did he ask permission?
no, well, I think we're going to see him not be here on some nights because he has his baseball thing. You know.
Ah.
So I have to do this because my eye is just trash tonight. And it's not allergies. It's something in this apartment, and I can't figure out what the hell it is. You know.
Who the owner?
Marjorie.
Huh?
Marjorie.
Who the
Yeah,
owner?
it could be. Yeah, I could be allergic to margarine. That's
Yeah,
possible.
there you go.
Yeah. I had my ex-wife Ronnie. When we were married, she got terrible rashes, and she went to a dermatologist or whatever, and he figured the whole thing out. She was allergic to me. What it was is in those days I was using colognes, and whatever cologne I was using, she was allergic to.
Hmm.
So that's when I stopped using colognes altogether.
Yeah, I had a fifth grade teacher that was allergic to perfume.
Yeah.
Something in the perfumes.
Yeah.
And so she'd tell everybody don't wear that stuff, and
Yeah, well, what happened is I stopped doing aftershave because, in case women who are listening don't know why guys use aftershave, it isn't because we like to smell like high karate, but it's because our face stings from shaving. And to get the sting out, you use an aftershave. Well, there are a couple of other things you can do rather than aftershave, and the one I do is because I'm taking a shower usually when I shave, is that I just run my face under the hot water, and that takes the sting out, and you don't have to. I've also used alcohol on occasion when I didn't have something else, but somebody should have come out with an odorless aftershave. Do they have that at all?
Oh, the alcohol.
It was called alcohol, yeah.
I shave and then I hop in the shower, and that does the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I got to the point I couldn't stand using aftershave. I mean, I used an aftershave. My father always used Old Spice, so I got used to Old Spice. You know, he said it was he said it was the best smell for the cheapest price.
That and Brute.
Well, I think Old Spice actually smelled better. I mean, if you
I think so too.
you know.
Remember Avon? Avon had the little cars and stuff like that, and you twist the back end, and there was the cologne in there.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I've never been into that really big time.
So, Phil mentioned on your show that he believes that the judges and the court systems are right. The only trouble is he doesn't believe that they're right about the
Wait a minute, what's all that noise?
not me.
Not die.
What were you saying there?
I'm sorry.
Go back to what you were saying. I was trying to.
I was saying that Phil believes in the courts and stuff, and except for when it comes to the big lie. But then the Supreme Court can't be right when they have told Trump that everything's right and you have no case.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to have Phil here to either defend himself or say he either agrees or disagrees with that.
Well, he said, yeah, well, okay.
But no, I mean, we were just talking about courts in general, and when it comes to civil actions like the thing I'm going through.
Oh, okay.
And how much it winds up costing us just to defend ourselves, and we didn't even do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after you win your case, then you sue the lawyer.
I don't know that we're going to win our case. I have my doubts, at this point.
You don't want to couch at his place, though.
No. I was kidding about that.
Although I have a big place, you can stay
Well, then
on my couch.
I'll come stay at your place.
And
I'll alternate. I'll go to your place and then I'll go over to Phil's place. How's that?
To Brian's place.
Brian, I'll be happy to. Do you have a guest room?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good.
Both of us do.
Good. Yeah, I got a guest room here if anybody ever wants to use it.
Although you might be kicked out in the middle of your stay, but the landlord may take you back over or something.
Yeah, well, it isn't the landlord that we're fighting. It's this.
No.
It's this guy that leased us the place. It's just gone on. It's in its 8th year. Okay.
Wow.
It's in its 8th year.
And he could have settled, or isn't there something he could have settled with like before all this, or
we came out with all kinds of plans that were very easy, but I think he thinks he's going to get a big payday out of the landlords, and he's saying I'll walk away for $300,000. Well, dream on, I mean, so that's a problem. It's a real problem, and he's the fly in the ointment. The landlords aren't the fly in the ointment. Landlords are ready tomorrow to give us a lease at a rent stabilized price, But it's this guy that just keeps doing it and costing us money he, I think, once appealed to the judge to grant him the case without a trial or anything like that. And so we had to file on why he shouldn't. And that went on for a while, and that cost us another $20,000. He's just
cheaper
been
to hire Tony Soprano.
You're absolutely right. But I'm getting very depressed about this whole thing. I don't even want to talk about it. It used to be when I first went to this lawyer. He just said to me, "Yeah, it's what do you call it? Illusory tenancy, and you got a real good case here." And all of a sudden, it's kind of diminished itself as we've gone along. To where he's going, well, we're gonna, you don't always get what you want. Sometimes you just got to settle. Well, what do you want? We said, well, the least we want is a lease in our name at a rent stabilized price. And he said, okay. And,
I think that's reasonable.
yeah.
I think it's very reasonable. This guy wants his apartment back, but he also wants, he rather than the apartment back, he'll walk away for $300,000. And I don't know, this is did he do this whole thing as a business proposition? Why is it worth $300,000 to him? I don't get any of it.
To get you to move out for $300,000?
Get me to move out for $300,000?
Is that what he's offering?
No, he wants $300,000 from the landlord.
The middleman, right?
Oh, the lawyer.
No. The middleman who leased it.
The guy who leased the apartment to us.
Right.
Oh,
We didn't have the right to lease us an apartment. He had a right to do a sublet, but he didn't. We never signed a sublet, and it had none of the earmarks of being a sublet. Sublets are 2 years. This was a 3-year lease, where we signed on as tenants, and he signed on as a landlord. Okay, and then all of a sudden the landlord said, "Hey, you're leasing this place out illegally and blah blah blah," and set the whole thing in motion. So I don't want to go into it again, but it just goes on and on and on. And we did nothing. All we did was rent an apartment, And all of a sudden we're sitting there defending ourselves, because then he decides to sue the landlord, okay, and sue us. So now we got to defend ourselves by countersuing, and this has been going on for 8 years.
but you haven't been paying rent though for 8 years.
No,
right?
but we have paid out $100,000 in legal
Right,
fees,
yeah.
so that's your rent right there.
Right. Yeah.
How many years?
I mean, it's about 8 years. We figured we paid out about over $1,000 a month, okay, over that time in legal fees. So I mean, and we would have been happy to pay rent all that time at rent stabilized price. Could have been settled the day this thing started, if this guy wasn't greedy and trying to play a game. And it's just
He hasn't broken any laws like any, like
he broke a law. I think he definitely broke a law. You can't rent an apartment that you're renting.
Yeah.
Right.
Sublet. Yeah, it's
You
not-
can sublet it,
yes.
but you
but
can't rent
not.
it.
Okay.
And to be a sublet, it can't be more than 2 years. He can't charge you more for rent than he's currently paying for rent. Okay. Meanwhile, we got a 3-year
Oh my
lease. We
God.
got a 3-year lease, right? A 3-year lease at double what he was paying for rent.
And
Tell me he wasn't doing something wrong.
Yeah.
he can't he can't sublease either unless he's got an agreement with the landlord
Well, he has to have an agreement with the landlord too.
in his lease. So.
Yeah, and I think he had an agreement that he could sublet it.
Oh, okay.
But that wasn't what we were given. I mean, sublets have certain caveats. They have to be 2 years, and no more than 2 years, and they have to be, and then you can renew it for another 2 years, but it can only be for a 2-year period, and you can't be charging more than you're already paying for rent yourself, unless there's furniture involved, in which you can charge 10% over that. And that's a sublet. We didn't get a sublet, okay? Plain and simple. So, but all I'm saying is, we didn't ask for any of this. We just wanted to rent an apartment, okay? And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of this whole thing.
Where's the guy live? In New York?
I think he lives outside of New York. Yeah.
So the explosive material would be easier then.
The what?
Explosive material would be easier.
What do you mean the explosive material?
His house could blow up accidentally.
No. Don't say things like that. I wish him only the best. But I mean, it gets to me. It gets to me after all these years, And you say, well, you didn't have to pay for rent. Okay, I didn't have to pay for rent. And it's probably going to be forgiven, But that's not the point. I wish I had been paying for rent at a rent stabilized price for the past 8 years, and that I could sleep at night. But this thing goes on and on and on and on, and with no end in sight. Maybe it'd be easier if I came and stayed with Jeff. He lives closer to me.
It's a good idea. You can come over here tomorrow morning.
Yeah, right.
I'll
Well,
pick you up at
I
the
almost
airport.
moved out. I almost moved out last night because I was worried about this. So of course your mind is whirling around a little bit, and then I'm trying to fall asleep, And guess who's snoring up a rip-roaring snorting? Her. She says, well, all you have to do is, like, pull the pillow out from under me. You don't have to wake me up. And I went, I've done that. It doesn't work. I can pull the pillow out from underneath you, and within 2 minutes, you're back to sawing wood. So I had to go into the guest room and sleep. I couldn't take it.
A pillow over her face won't stop the noise?
Permanently, yes.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
She's paying the lawyer bills right now.
Yes. So, you know. But, so anyway, I mentioned it already to Phil, so you probably heard it. I have been nominated for induction into the Radio Hall of Fame, the National Radio Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yay.
And, you know, we'll ask all of you to vote later this month.
Can we vote?
So, oh, yes, I'll get 6 votes. You know.
You know, if you win this thing, you're gonna have to change your saying on your Facebook profile. You'll say, "Now I'm somebody again."
No, I don't think I'd be somebody again if that happened. I mean, I just think, you know, I'd have my picture or something in the Hall of Fame, and you know, that'd be.
You
about
get to
it.
put your fingerprints or toes into a piece of concrete.
No, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Okay.
No.
You get a new T-shirt, right?
What?
You get a free T-shirt.
A free T-shirt. Yeah. No.
That's right.
You know, what I have to do is, if I win, I have to go to Chicago for the induction, and that could cost me my life. Okay, the way things are going in Chicago. Yeah.
Who gets to vote on that? You have to be like a member or something?
Well, no.
Any of us
I
can
have to
vote
be.
on
I've been in radio for how many years of my life?
No, I mean, but the people that elect, the electors, is it anybody?
Well, people can vote. Okay, like you can vote.
Oh, okay.
And all the votes of the people only count for 1/25th of the vote. The other 24 are the nominators, the nomination committee, and they decide who the final winner is.
Oh,
Who is this idiot that Phil brought up that's now he's got a show plus he's running for governor in California?
Yeah, Larry Elder.
Another real winner, obviously.
An absolute. Well, I am almost bothered by him being nominated in the same breath with Sally Jesse Raphael and even these 2 guys in Philadelphia who I never heard of.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's a horrid person, and one of these people who's done nothing but use his position on radio not for the betterment of the industry, but for the betterment of Larry Elder. You know, but the good
Sounds like
part
he should
is
be on
now
Fox
that he's
News.
running for governor, he can't be on the radio, so therefore he won't be able to ask people to vote for him. You know,
Fox News will hire him.
the Fox News has him on a lot.
yeah, he's a
Really?
pundit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of those stupid Republicans that'll step on anybody to get where he wants.
He's dumb as a brick too.
I've heard him. He's not that good. You know, I mean, I think, like, for instance, Sally Jesse Raphael, who is nominated, is she's a class act, and she was a woman doing this business at a time when there weren't a lot of women in this business, and
Very good.
huh?
I said she was very good.
Yeah, as on radio, people don't remember she was on radio long before she ever did TV, and she was terrific. She was just terrific, and I think that she certainly deserves this consideration and this nomination. But Larry Elder, I don't think he deserves it, and I don't know these other 2 guys, so I can't diss them. I just, because I've never heard of them, I question why they've been nominated. You know.
So in the news today, the governor of California, he's
Boy,
running
you
for-
change topics. You just immediately change
They,
topics.
they only pick one, Alex? Of the nominees, they only pick one to go in?
My category, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought we were talking about governors and this guy running. So, the governor of California was, by a liberal judge, said that he cannot put that he's a Democrat on the ballot.
What?
Yep.
I
He
don't-
didn't. He
I don't
didn't.
understand. I don't even understand what you're saying.
So Gavin Newsom is running for his job again,
Yeah.
and most people get to put if they're Democrat or Republican.
Well, he's
He
not
messed
running
up.
again. He's not running again. He's running to not be thrown out.
Right.
Okay.
But he
He's
didn't
not
file
being.
the
He's
paperwork.
not running as a candidate. He doesn't have to run as a candidate.
What John said is correct.
He didn't file the paperwork in time to declare that he's going to be running as a Democrat.
Right.
So he's just running as.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't really make any difference. He's still a Democrat.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
He's not going to get recalled. I mean,
I hope not.
the state's in good shape. You know, I mean, the
Yep.
economy's doing good. I mean, why would you impeach him? You know.
Well, it's just because 5,000 people or something signed a petition or something. What does it
was-
take?
I think it's more than that, but they all get paid to, you know, they just hire people to just stand out in front of Safeway and collect signatures for. Those guys get like, a couple bucks per signature too.
And
They
they,
make
were doing that. And John, they were doing that day one. Safeway over here, they were doing that right when he got elected. They were starting to do it. And I'm like, what the hell? He hasn't even worked one day, and you guys are already trying to recall him.
Yeah, well, that whole recall situation in California is pretty terrible if you think
It
about it. You know, it really is terrible.
There's now 6 people on that ballot.
6? That's more
All
than.
Republicans.
That's more.
Dozen.
Is that more than the last time? There were 135, I think, the last time.
Well, it's still early.
Yeah, really. I think they
I
got a week and a half to go.
I got called on Friday to work the election.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got texts from Newsom's camp already too.
Well, how many dozen did you say?
5 dozen.
5, so that's 60, right?
60 are on the ballot right now.
Oh boy.
No Democrats, all Republicans.
Most of them are, yeah.
Well, because nobody wants to go up. I mean, a Democrat should run just to be able to assure that, that maybe the Democrats are represented. But I mean, really what this has always become a Republican way of getting rid of a Democrat. Okay?
Pretty much.
And not having to replace that Democrat. But you're not even going to replace him with the guy who gets the most votes. I mean,
Yeah, when they called me, I said, why are we having an election in September? And I totally forgot about the recall. And she goes, well, it's the recall. But oh, yeah, we're spending $11 billion or whatever it is on a campaign against Newsom.
I
right?
think in California they should outlaw recalls,
It's ridiculous.
except for criminal reasons. Like if a governor has, but then again, if he's found guilty of something, murdering somebody,
Well, yeah, there's reasons for it for some things, but
well,
that's
but
absolutely-
then you can impeach him. But then you can impeach him.
or at least up the amount of signatures. I mean, the amount of signatures they got is 0.1% of the state's population, I believe.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous amount of signatures, and they, like Brian was saying, they were out there the day after. They were down here in this little town that I live in, outside Nob Hill Foods, already with their clipboards.
What are they saying are the odds for Newsom?
Pardon?
What are they saying are the odds for Newsom?
Well, he's leading in the polls. He's got like a 55% approval rating. So
Yeah,
there's
there's-
no way he's going to get recalled.
I don't think he's going to get recalled. I mean, there's a lot of people pissed off, but
Who they
I think
gonna?
it's just like Trump, they're dwindling by the minute.
Who's his competition? They're going to put in Caitlyn Jenner.
Well,
Come on.
let me explain to the audience out there the way this thing works in California, and it's really skeezy, so far as I'm concerned. You take somebody and you say, okay, we're going to recall him. Now the vote is going to be to recall him. It isn't like they're going to say, okay, do you want to recall him? And then they take a vote on that, and then when they say, okay, we want to recall him, it passed. Now we're going to have an election to find out who will replace him. No, it all takes place at one time. You vote whether you want the guy recalled or not recalled, and then if you want him recalled, who do you want to be the new governor? And the winner is not somebody who got 51% of the vote. It could be somebody who got 10% of the vote. I mean, what did Schwarzenegger get? There are 135 people running. How large a percentage could he possibly have?
Totally diluted.
And usually the person who wins is like a Schwarzenegger, somebody whose name is easily recognizable. You know, so I mean, it's a stupid thing.
And they were trying to recall him right away. Let the votes handle it. The votes, you didn't have enough votes and you lost. And then they go right away trying to recall him.
And
he hasn't done any work and you already lost from your votes.
And who was doing this? It was being led by a Republican.
Of course.
It's not like some Democrat went.
Like Trump.
What?
Probably people that are aligned
Well,
to
it is.
Trump.
It's Trump money. Money
yeah.
from Trump back.
Yeah.
Cox was right up front with it.
Yep.
Who's right up front with it?
The guy that
John Cox.
Yeah.
he lost to Newsom in the election already. So now he's trying to get recalled to get him back in.
Yeah.
That's the guy with the bear.
Driving around with a bear, yeah.
Oh man, I want to see that thing eat that. Eat cock.
Well, there is a guy with a bear, isn't there?
Bear. Yeah.
He got busted for it.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Endangering a bear and bringing it out in public and all that stuff.
You can't bring a bear and a cock together. Cox, sorry, Cox.
Took it away from him.
Yeah. Oh.
Guys, I'm going to go to bed now.
What?
I got to get my dialysis in the morning.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to say goodnight.
Good luck to you. You know, we're always thinking about you here.
Keep coming back, Steve. Keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Hang in there,
So
buddy.
wave goodbye to Steve. Okay.
Later.
Goodbye, Steve.
care.
Okay. Now take good reading materials with you.
Yeah, I'll watch TV.
You watch
Play
TV.
guitar.
Okay.
Practice the guitar.
But the problem is that when you're getting when you're getting the dialysis, it's early in the day.
Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So all you've got to watch are those morning shows. It's dreadful. I mean, but you know that your dialysis is over when The Price is Right is over. So, you know.
The View.
John was offering to come up and teach you how to play guitar, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to you, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care,
Bye
Steve.
Bye.
Good luck.
So let's see. We lost one person to baseball tonight, or softball tonight. Now we're losing another one to dialysis. What kind of show am I running here?
I guess if there's a good side to dialysis, you don't have to piss much.
Yes, you do. You piss more because your kidneys are working.
No, your kidneys are not working. That's why you're getting the dialysis to take the.
No, but he said, for instance, he's peeing better now.
Oh, he is. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Oh
Don't you pay attention to this show?
no.
Yeah, he does. He keeps recalling all the shows.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing Alan does. He watches the shows later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He watches the show later to find out what happened.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then I raised my hand and wonder why nobody's answering.
But
me.
anyway, I just think the whole thing in California with the recall thing has got to be done away with. It's just ridiculous. You know. I mean, and who'd you get last time? You got Schwarzenegger. Was he a good governor? No. He kind of mediocre, right? Just
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never, he's a staunch Republican, but I've never hated him. There's something very likable about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He was a foreigner.
That's true.
Well, I think part of it is how self-deprecating he is.
I'm actually surprised that one of Trump's kids are not running in California.
Well, don't
Move
suggest
here, and then they can.
Thanks for
run.
suggesting it.
Right.
Not that anybody would be watching this show.
Yeah.
Oh,
How is it?
anyway.
By the way, how's Caitlyn Jenner doing?
Oh,
John?
jeez.
John?
I don't know, but I can't imagine her getting elected. I think her slogan is, "I'm going to cancel culture and wake the woke."
Like the woke.
He's been making speeches up in Sacramento a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a he. I thought it was a she.
Well,
He-
you refer
sorry.
to that person as her because that's
Her
what she
pronoun.
wants. That's the way she identifies herself.
Unless you're in Hollister.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that because you honor somebody by calling them what they want to be called.
I have a friend that's trans, and I knew him when he was a guy, and I still call him dude.
Well, I had a real problem with a trans that I
You can
knew.
do that now.
I had a guy who was my producer at WPLJ, the overnight show. I hired him for a couple of reasons. Number one, he was almost blind. And also, he ran a pirate radio station. And I figured this was my way of him being able to make money to build his pirate radio station and fuck with the entire system, right? So I did it for those two reasons. And he was my producer for a couple of years. You know, he was always there and did a good job. And I enjoyed him. I liked him. And then I lost track of him for many, many years. And then I think I started, where did I first start hearing from him? He used to call my radio show. It's Sirius XM. And I said, oh, well, you know, it's really good to hear from you again. And he said, you know, his name was Randy, I'm trying to remember the last name. But he said, well, I've changed it to Randi. I said, why? He said, well, I'm now a transsexual. Hadn't had a sex change or anything, but transsexual. So I accidentally kept referring to him. Oh, see, there I go. As he. And he got very mad at me. And I said, you should be a little more forgiving where I'm concerned. Because here I am, I'm doing a radio show here. I hear from you for the first time in, say, 15 years, right? Last time I saw you, you were a guy. So in my own mind, I see you as a guy. I said, if we got together, had lunch, I saw you wearing the dress, you know, and the makeup and the wig and everything like that, or whatever, you know. I said, then I would probably have a different way to relate to that and refer to you as she. I said, but excuse me if I make the mistake every now and then. And I was kind of, they got very pissed at me. He stopped calling me and everything. She stopped calling me and everything. See, there I go. And it got me a little pissed off because I feel that if you're going to do something like that, the job isn't our job to accommodate you. It's your job to make us feel comfortable with your new presence. Does that make sense? You know, that it doesn't just suddenly come with an automatic pass. You've got to do something to engender a feeling in everybody else who you know and make it easy on them. Am I wrong or what?
No, I agree.
I agree. Yeah, pretty much.
You know, but I kept I had a hard time calling Randy she because I never knew Randy as a she. Can you understand that? And it wasn't like I was sitting there in a room with this person. I was on the telephone talking to him up in Woodstock, you know, and never had a visual image. So forgive me, you know, I don't mean to be nasty here.
Disrespect.
I mean no disrespect. Exactly.
Right.
Did she have the same voice?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's even harder then.
Yeah, that makes it difficult.
If you're not looking at the person, if you're just listening to the person talk.
Right.
I gotta say something about transsexuals. I mean, I have known several transsexuals in my lifetime. Some of them one of them absolutely gorgeous, Candy Darling, who was maybe one of the best looking. And when Candy would walk into a room, I mean, I always thought of Candy as her because I saw this woman. And then Candy would walk into the room, I would kiss Candy hello. You know? I was very used to that sort of thing.
Where did she pick up that name, Candy Darling?
She was one of Andy Warhol's superstars.
Oh, there we go.
And so was Jackie Curtis, who was another transsexual, but kind of a different kind of transsexual. This was a guy who would wear a dress and have a 5-day growth. Okay? So a different kind of transsexual. And then finally, Holly Woodlawn, who was a very funny comedian. And it was almost a parody of women. It wasn't exactly trying to be a woman, it was trying to be a parody of a woman. I knew all of them. And they all appear, by the way, in the song Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I knew all of them. And so I was very used to that kind of thing. You know, it didn't bother me in the least. But so that leads me to what I was about to say, which is lately I see some of these people who are trans, okay, who suddenly appear on TV. They're not telling you they're trans, but you know it immediately because they're god-awful ugly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, granted, there are some beautiful ones, and the beautiful ones are terrific, but there are some that...
San Francisco's full of the god-awful ugly
Well,
ones.
I mean, if I were a guy and I wanted to go trans, yeah, I know it's my inclination, and I want to be able to do it and to pull it off and so on. But if I can't do it to a certain convincing degree, without saying, my God, that's a god-awful ugly woman, you know. Like there was this documentary I saw in which there was a woman in it who was a guy. And just god-awful ugly. And I'm going, you know, maybe you just want to be a guy and tell people, hey, I have an inclination to wear dresses occasionally when I'm living privately. But you always want to look your best. And, you know, some of these people, I mean, I don't know the Caitlyn Jenner's that great looking as a drag.
No, definitely not.
You know? I noticed that Kevin went, you know. No.
It looks like Bruce Jenner with long hair and tits.
Yeah.
And he was never anything spectacular.
Well,
other than he could run.
He did some bad surgery too. Didn't he do facelifts or something?
Yeah, it's all.
He did something to it. A little something.
The same guy that Michael Jackson used.
No, but he did it before he turned to Caitlyn. He did some surgeries, his nose or something. I forget.
I think he did that. And I think he did something to prevent him from growing beard, using depilatory or something to kill all the facial hair cells. I mean,
he's trying, but she's trying, but.
Well, I think that I'll tell you when he looks best as a trans is when he's not exactly wearing a dress and doing all that, but when he's got women's sports outfits on, you know, things like that. But
except for the bulge.
Huh?
Except for the bulge.
Yeah.
Is there a bulge or does he tuck?
I don't know.
Does he tuck?
But they got yoga pants, you know.
How about the actress, the young actress that became she's now a male. What's her name? You know, the young actress that was in Hard Candy.
Oh, you're talking about Juno?
Yeah, that gal.
Yeah, what's her name?
Now she changed her name and she's a boy now, or a man.
I didn't know she had done kind of the transition.
I think she has now. She's looking a lot different.
What was her name? Let me look this up here.
What in the hell is her name?
Wait a minute, I'll just type in Juno. It'll come right up. Juno.
She's a good actress.
No, very good actress.
What's she gonna play now, though? A man?
No,
Or
very
what
well.
else?
Some people want to use the term for an actress as she's an actor. You know?
Actor, yeah.
Wait a minute, Juno. Here's the movie Juno. There we go. Okay, come on. It was her name was Ellen Page.
Yeah, now
Now she's using the
Alan-
name, and it's listed here in
Alan Page.
Ellen Page?
No. Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Page was the football player.
Let me see. By the way, folks, what I'm looking at here is in case you wanna see what I'm talking about. There is Elliot Page right up there. See, right there. Okay. And let me just type in. Let's see here. What Elliot Page? Just maybe so we can see a picture that might be of Elliot as he is today. This hasn't done much of a change. There we go. You know, I mean, you got there. There we go. It's basically you're just wearing tie and a shirt and it's not going out of his way. He didn't. She's still got the long hair. He's still got the long hair. Over here, there's
You're
a
looking
baseball
at a
cap.
current picture.
Well, that's a current picture. Here's one with a baseball cap. I find him still quite attractive, to be honest with you. You know. You see, I often had this kind of thing for people who kind of look butch. The kind of butch look of women who were kind of butch. In fact, I went with a woman for years who, so everybody thought, oh, is she a lesbian? I went, no, she's not. She's just she's a woman who's sporty. That was it. Whatever. Sporty, yeah. But anyway, so that's what you're talking about. Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, but Jenner was never handsome, pretty, anything.
Jenner is ugly as a woman and wasn't that incredible as a guy.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. He was no stud as a guy.
Right.
And he's like a piece of dirt as a woman.
Well, what? He's like a what?
A piece of dirt. He's uglier than mud.
I think that's a little ungenerous of you to call him a piece of dirt.
I don't like him. I don't care what he is.
Well, why don't you like him?
I just don't like him. I don't like his personality. I didn't like him in the Kardashian series. I don't think he added anything to it. Okay, so he can run when he was younger. Great. He was an athlete. Should have stayed as an athlete and forgot about everything else. Although I guess he married Kardashian, the lady. She was beautiful. What she saw in him, I have no idea.
Well, I think they had been good friends before she divorced Kardashian, whatever his first name.
Him, or I thought he died of cancer or something.
Well, then he died of cancer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Afterwards.
And then he was married to. I'm trying to remember her name now. But she was a TV personality, his wife, and I think he divorced her to go with.
Okay. Well, Kardashian, the guy, whatever his name was on O.J. Simpson's Dream Team. Lawyer, wasn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Are all those girls, the Kardashian girls, his daughters?
Only the ones that are called Kardashian are all his daughters. Yes. The rest of the girls are referred to as Jenners.
Oh.
So, and they are Bruce Jenners.
So Bruce Jenner had kids with Kardashian's
Yeah,
ex-wife.
she had two of them.
Okay.
She had two of them by him and three by I'm trying to remember what was Kardashian's first name?
Bob. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Robert Kardashian. I think that was it. Yeah.
Robert Kardashian.
Robert
Okay.
Kardashian, Bob.
Yeah. So yeah. So you know, let me see here. I'm just trying to find something. So I mean, what?
I think he, you know, at the end of that OJ trial, when he got off, he had a look in his face like, oh my God, you know, this guy really did. I think he knew OJ did it, and he just had this look in his face like, oh my God, what have we done, you know?
Joseph Grigo has joined us. Are you there, Joseph? Joseph, are you there? Well, he disappeared. Okay. He's a guy that writes me a lot, so that's why I didn't think he was a phony. But anyway, so, but I just think that I guess we got into Caitlyn Jenner because of the whole running for governor thing. You know, I remember last time you had some good people there. You had let's see, what's his name from Different Strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Is the porn actress running again this time?
Mary, what's her name? Mary Carey?
Mary Carey. That was her name. Right. Is she running again?
I don't know. I haven't seen the whole list yet, but I'm sure we can find it somewhere.
I should look it up, and we should tomorrow night go through the list and see how many of them we actually know. You know.
What about that? The guy that was running for mayor of New York with that crazy name?
For mayor of New York, or with a crazy name, yeah.
Oh, something like Refrigerator Bob or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember who he was, because he was on the ballot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, what kind of name is that? You know.
Yeah.
I'll be a Republican.
Well, and then we have the governor's race. I think next year, is it here in New York? Jeff, do you know whether?
I don't know when it's coming.
It's not this year. I don't think. No.
2022.
I think it's 2022.
2022. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And by then, I think everybody will have forgotten the whole thing about Cuomo. You know, unless they come out and indict him for it or whatever. In which case, I'd still vote for him.
Yeah, you liked them a lot.
Well, I mean, I don't give a crap where he puts his hands. You know, I don't care. You know, most of it weren't like grabbing people or anything. It was simply making a comment like, "Nice dress you've got on today." Oh, and I felt terrible for the rest of my life. You know. So I mean, I just come up with something that he did was terrible to somebody, and I'll go along with it. Is he a prick? Absolutely. I hear he's a real asshole to the people who work with him, but he's our asshole. So, and I think he saved my life through his actions in this state. It was pretty terrific, pretty terrific. So, anybody do anything interesting over the weekend?
Well, I came home.
Because, I was talking with Phil, and I never do anything interesting anymore. It used to be I had a very interesting life. But did I do anything this weekend? Not really. Same thing I do every day. Took my walk, and that was it. You know?
I tried to eat dinner at Zuni Cafe, but they wouldn't let us in.
At the what?
Zuni Cafe in San Francisco.
What's the Zuni Cafe? I never
on Market. Why wouldn't they let you in?
It's a famous old San Francisco restaurant. It was booked. It was so crowded. Couldn't get a table. They said it's like a 2-hour wait. So I said, screw it.
You couldn't make
a roast chicken. Most famous roast chicken in the country.
Yeah, they got great chicken.
You couldn't make a reservation there or anything like that?
Well, yeah, it was a Friday night. I figured, I didn't think anybody was going to be out. I thought, I don't know, I just, I mean, when we were over, there was a lot of open tables, but I don't think they were, they were keeping it spread out.
How is the whole COVID thing in San Francisco Bay Area now? Is it
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Everybody got vaccinated pretty much, and I mean, at first it was hard to get a shot, but after a while, I mean, you could just walk down the street and there was people on the corner giving out shots.
It wasn't always a COVID shot in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's true, probably.
Yeah, but the thing is that I love these people who say it's my body and I'll do with it what I want to. Yeah, but it's also my body, and I don't want to get sick from your body, you asshole.
That's right.
Exactly.
Very selfish.
Very selfish not to.
Well, I said that tonight that they said that since June 15th, it's gone from 0.2% to 2.7% from that Delta variant.
Where?
In California.
California.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
2.3 like on last week, Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
not in
people
the
that say,
area.
I don't like what it might do things to my body. Yeah, but do you know what COVID does to your body?
Kills you.
Yeah, I was watching some lady tonight. She was in Missouri, and she was on, I think, CNN or something. And she was antiviral, anti-vax.
Yeah.
And you wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. And her mom ended up in the hospital. She's been on a ventilator for like 3 months or something. Sick as a dog. And she finally said, I'm going to get, she got her vaccination. And I'm sitting there watching this woman, and she's talking about how she didn't understand how the vaccine was, going to hurt her, and she didn't think it was right, and all this stuff. And I'm looking at her, and she's got that orange hair. And I'm going, you're putting colored dyes all over your hair that get into your brain. But you're worried about a vaccine.
Is that what happened to Trump? The colored dyes?
Missouri, it was that red orange hair.
Yeah, but also, how many
sit there and get chemicals put on your head for 4.5 hours,
Yeah.
but you're worried about a vaccine.
Bill, how many people have had the vaccine so far? Something like 300 million, something like that.
Yeah, and they're not dropping dead.
And they're not all dropping dead, and we're not growing arms out of our foreheads.
My 16-year-old daughter said the same thing this morning. She's watching the news and she's going, "What's wrong with these people? Nobody's dropping dead." And I said, well, at least you're seeing that.
Yeah. I don't understand the thinking on this. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, we had a guy fix our garage door. The spring broke, and the guy showed up with a mask on, and I thought he was just trying to be considerate. I said, "Well, we've been vaccinated, I'm sure you have." He said, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Well."
I talked to a guy who was driving me in a car, in a Lyft car, who said that he hadn't gotten vaccinated, and his other job was he works in a hospital.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the way I look at it, all these people who aren't getting vaccinated are Republicans. Okay?
Yep.
A few less of them.
Natural selection.
A few if they don't if the party wants to see their voters die off, that's fine with us Democrats. There'll be more votes for us. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Anyway, hey, listen, Brian, good talking to you tonight. Good talking to you, Alan. Always nice having you here, Jeff. And Mr. Larkin, thank you, or Larky as he's now calling himself, and of course Kevin, you're my friend. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow night, hopefully. Wave goodbye.
Congratulations.
There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll get another one going again tomorrow night. Jack Bishop with The Intersection is next. Over most of the same, I'm trying to keep from sneezing. Over this same station, he'll be doing a citizen panel just like we do. Only he'll be using Skype with the address of Gabnet Live. Okay. See you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay. And by the way, if you get a chance, get that needle in your arm and call it macaroni. We'll see you later. Bye.